Call the meeting to order. And roll call everybody present for tonight's meeting. And this time we're going to pause to seek guidance, but also I'd like for us to also reflect on those that lost their lives in the shooting in Digby. We've got the agenda before us. There was in our package there was information on a youth grant request, but it didn't get added onto the agenda sheet. So I'd like to add it as 4.3 youth grant request. Now can I have is there any other additions or deletions?
Motion to approve the agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. There's no delegation presentation for tonight, so we're going to go to approval of the minutes of December the 9th. I have a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The first unfinished business from the minutes of December the 9th, St. Mary's Bay Protectors Council request. And we had discussions on the request on the bylaw and policy meeting. And we've decided to put a letter to Glenn Wilson and the St. Mary's Bay Protectors to reply to the different concerns and questions that were in that request. Motion to write the letter.
I so move that we write the letter to Glenn and the St. Mary's Bay Protectors, actually.
So seconder? Also, to add to that, since we had that meeting, I also spoke to our MLA and asked if he would set up the opportunity for myself to speak to the Minister of Agriculture, Keith Caldwell. I'm expecting a call from him either tonight or tomorrow to talk to him to try to see if we can't get Department of Agriculture to come in as well.
I'd just like to talk about that for a minute, that's all right. I think that we're the experts. We don't need an expert, a talking head from Halifax to come down and tell us what to think. I think that there's an abundance of information, there's an abundance of interest in the community. I myself trust the community. I know what they're talking about. This is nothing new down in my neck of the woods. This is something that's been going on for, well, a couple of decades now. And we have trouble finding people to be interested in municipal government. We have trouble finding people to sit on committees. We have trouble having people come and show up just at the meetings, just to take a look. And here we have, a good group of people from across our communities, and we're going to take all the time we can before we support them. I feel that this is an easy decision for us to make. I feel that we do not need someone from Halifax to come and just explain to us, another proponent. They're not going to tell us anything new or interesting. And we have passion in the communities here. Why on earth do we have to put this stuff off?
As we discussed at the bylaw and policy meeting, and just for the record, to let everybody know, yes, you brought those same concerns forward at that time, and that we are not the regulatory body when it comes to issuing licenses to agriculture, but we can advocate the community's concerns to the province, and that's what we're trying to do.
We're the government that's supposed to be closest to the people, and I haven't been feeling terribly close. I feel like when a lot of people come, I feel there's a line right there. Them on that side and us on this side, and I'm much more interested in what they have to say than, overseas millionaires that want to turn the water brown. It's a horrible, monstrous plan. And here we are sitting on our hands while there's so much passion. Lots of people, we can't even get people to sit on committees. And here we are, hundreds of people interested. And we're going to put time off as long as we can.
It's nice to see this group of people here, concerned citizens, but I don't think they're on one side and we're on the other. Myself, I'm not on any side right here. I just would like to hear what Cermak has to say, and then make my decision, make it, whether I support them or not. And you folks put forth a very good case last at the council meeting, and took all that information in. But before I make a decision, I would like to hear what other people have to say.
Deputy Warden?
I'm sure you folks would do the same thing, if somebody presented you with something, if somebody presented you with something, you want to hear both sides.
Deputy Warden?
Okay, my concern is that we meet as soon as possible. We're also going to be telling the minister, because that's who we want here, not just flunkies, but we'll take whoever, and then let them know how upset everyone is. So David, I don't think it's ours. I think we owe the people the right that we're meeting with them. They'll be here listening to what's being said. I mean, our concerns are the people's. But you have to hear what they're telling us, and we have to tell them what we're hearing as well. Because just sitting back and writing a letter is not going to do it. That is why we're asking to meet. That is why the warden has been trying to get, and he's already asked me if the call comes while this is on, that I take over the meeting. We're not trying to hide it. I said I want everything wrapped up that we can possibly do, hopefully, by our next council meeting. But we've got to see what we can do. Also, I think we owe it to be respectful to the people as well as ourselves. I don't want any detriment. St. Mary's Bay is not a big bay. We all know that, David. I'm a fisherman's family. But I also know that it's better to speak to the people that are in charge of it. You're right, we're the closest to the people, but we don't make that decision. But we need for them to hear the concerns that are happening. And it's the province that needs to hear that. As well as Cermak. But the province has got to hear that.
I've seen the DFO walk all over everybody. I've seen the school board walk all over everybody. I've seen the health authority walk all over everybody in Digby. And I'm seeing the same thing happening here.
Right on.
And I watched this blow through completely regardless of what everybody thinks about it.
That's right.
You know, I'm worried that the cards have already been dealt. And anything that we say, the longer we wait before we stand with our community, there's no point in waiting. We should be doing it now. We should be leading, not waiting for a talking head who's going to, I can tell you exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say some version of this garbage that Cermak sent around. That's exactly what they're going to say.
That's right. Did the provincial government not come up with new regulations a year or two ago?
Yeah.
Okay, have we had a presentation on those regulations?
No, we haven't had a presentation on those.
So we do not know what the provincial government has put in place for regulatory matters when it comes to agriculture.
I was reading through it. You can read through it. It's not it's not rocket science. We don't need someone come to say a handful of talking points to us about how wonderful it is to turn the clean water brown.
What we're trying to do, David, is pass the concerns of this community to the province. Okay? We're trying to advocate for the province what the concerns are. Now, that we're not taking sides on whether it's good, bad, or ugly. The fact if it is, we want to see what the province is going to say.
I am taking sides.
Yeah. Anyway.
Day one.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Next is the CAO report. You've got the CAO report in front of you. Is there any questions for the CAO?
This is my first chance. I should think of a tough one for you, Jeff.
Jeff, so has there been any more on a joint meeting with the town?
No, not at this point.
Under the library upgrade, I want to just give a little bit of an update on that. The work has been done inside the building. The shelves have been reinstalled. They're just in the process now of restocking shelves. So we're hopeful that they're going to have the library reopened the first part of February. And after they do, they're going to have a grand reopening of the work that was done there.
Did they make it more accessible? Was that the thoughts of what was being done and the changes that were being made?
It's already an accessible property, so accessibility wasn't the problem, but what they did is they reconfigured the inside to make it more user-friendly.
Well, that's what I mean by accessibility, because
Yeah.
there's, yeah.
They're also making it more safer for the staff that work there by moving the workstation, so their back is not to the door.
Okay.
Before, when you walk in,
Uh-huh.
and now when you walk in, you face you.
Okay.
Okay, and they've got a really nice children's section, youth section, adult section, so they redid the whole inside, new carpeting, all new paint.
Did they change the rooms too, to make bigger rooms?
It's all been reconfigured.
Okay. I'll look forward to seeing it.
Is there anything else anybody else wants to bring up from the report? If not, we're going to go to the meeting dates and reminders. No meeting on January 20th. January 27th, we have council at 6 p.m. February 3rd, we have bond policy at 5. Digby Development Association's meeting on February 4th at 4:15. Committee of the Whole is on February 10th at 5 p.m. There's no meeting on February 17th, and council is going to be meeting on February 24th at 6 p.m. I believe, Council Manager, did you say you weren't going to be at one of those meetings?
Yeah, the runs 8 or 9 in February.
That's the committee of the whole meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said February the 3rd, I could be late because of being in Yarmouth for medical. The other comment that I wanted to make was the Flag Day this year in Digby, that's on February the 14th, and I know it's not listed because it's not, but I know it was in his report, and I just thought we should make sure we've got it listed.
Okay.
Flag Day to the floors, BRHS.
So we're going to go into the department reports now. So.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Is there anything else from the department reports that anybody wants to ask a question on? I'd like to ask one, and that's pertaining to the usage of the airport. It seems like the numbers are pretty strong this year. Because of the weather, or?
Yeah, I think the weather so far this year has resulted in stronger usage. Up until last week, the weather has been pretty favorable for I think our fuel sales are also reflecting that.
Any other questions for the report?
Oh, I do have one. I know that we're supposed to hear rural internet sometime in January. Has that been postponed again, from what I've been hearing in the news?
No, I think I had a brief chat with Evan this week that we are still, I hate to say, on day to day. I think the proponent that we're dealing with and the province are in the final stages of basically signing their contract, but it's pretty near day to day on the announcement.
Yeah, because I said they're saying they want to start the second phase workout, but when they haven't announced anything, and
yes.
it has to be an announcement first, right?
Yes.
Before we can talk. Hopefully. I'm so tired of no internet. Or half internet. And I'm sure most of my district is the same.
Anything else on that? Okay, we're going to move on. There's nothing under dangerous and unsightly premises for tonight. We're going to go to business items, and the first business item is the smart meter program. Councilor Ross?
I looked it up under Nova Scotia Power, and within 10 seconds I found what the information people are looking for. Did you opt out or opt in? It's free to do it's free for the digital meters, and if you opt out, it's about $4 a month or something like that. But what I was suggesting is maybe we should have somebody, Jeff from Nova Scotia Power, come down and do a presentation. And also, could we have maybe Rob Garcia there for that, and then we can do it right up in the coastline, so it does get people the information. And I'll give you this. So that we can put it on the municipal website, www.novascotiapower.ca/smart meters.
Happy work.
Okay, this came to me, from some concerned citizens, because, apparently it started in 2017, and, I saw the letter return from, Nova Scotia Power, to the lady, and, they're saying that notices was sent out. But I know we only heard about it ourselves, what, a month ago?
Been longer than that.
Is it, yes?
7 months ago.
Yeah, it's been at least 6 or 7 months.
Okay. Okay, but my concern is people, it's another, concern, brought forward by the people because apparently, because it is smart, people are concerned with the guys that are, the people that are working, I should say guys, could be male or female, losing their jobs for the meters. Also, how accurate will it be, what information is going to be out there from it. So, again, and I have no problem having those, but I want them here sooner than later, because reading the emails that I saw, they were saying, people had their chance to talk back in 2018, and I know we were sending a letter to them about concerns that were happening in our community.
Well, by having him here, we can maybe have those questions answered. So, I believe they mentioned the UARB too on this matter.
Yes.
There was a matter that went to the UARB, and we received a letter here dated August the 14th. And so, I think it would be best though too to get Nova Scotia Power in to speak on this. So, Councillor Ross, do you want to mention? Yes. Or the seconder?
Just wants to have a second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. The next is Municipality of Barrington, the volunteer fire department and youth. They're asking us to send a letter of support pertaining to this, and it's a good idea what they're trying to do, but they've made an application to the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development to be able to provide personal development credit to students who join a volunteer fire department and complete the required training. And joining a volunteer fire department helps students with interpersonal and communication skills as well as problem solving while serving their community. Personal development of students, this program also has the potential to increase fire department memberships. The age of firefighters is increasing and departments are finding it very difficult to attract younger members. It is key to attract people into the fire department while they are young so they can form a lifelong connection with the service. And the Barrington Municipal Council would like to request your support for this application in the form of a letter or otherwise to allow schools in Nova Scotia to offer personal development credit to students that join a fire department and undergo the required training.
Okay, I would like this letter sent to the Fire Association. I think we should support it. I definitely agree with that. But I like our Fire Association members, especially because it's all the chiefs or the deputies, to put maybe their support on it as well. I can tell you, they're correct when they're saying our firefighters are getting older. So for me, I am in full support of this, and I am going to make a motion that we send a letter of support, but I'm also asking for a letter, which is not a motion, to go to our Fire Association to see if they'd like to send, their comments on to us that we can even forward those.
Do you have a second or a motion? Any questions?
On the islands, we have a lot of young people involved already, and I've seen people start young, and then now that they're adults, they're driving a truck and taking leadership, and it also addresses the demographic-driven volunteer shortage that we're having all the time. So I think it's a good idea.
Okay. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Thank you. The next order of business is the youth grant request, and Sophie Desjardins, from Mexico Road. She's been given an opportunity to go to Mexico. There's 21 students, Nova Scotia students that are going to be able to go, and she's been accepted into this program. And we're going to be going down to help for people in Mexico for the 2020 Service Learning Project. And when they're in Mexico in the past, they support things like senior shelters, cancer centers, sports centers, educational facilities, and welcome to community.
Okay, she's asking for us to make the donation towards the school, not herself, or whatever building they're going to do. Is there a way we can do this? Because I would really like to support this. And she said in her letter, it will not be used for travel, which is what we give it to for them. So I want to know, is there a way to do it so that it would be allowed through the MGA? Yeah. And can you?
Yeah, at this point, I've reviewed our policy. I think this does meet the terms to be fundable by our policy. I know we've had challenges with similar trips. I think page 2 of this one, the print is really small, but this one is a school.
Yes, it is.
Program, so that makes things much more straightforward for us being involved in this.
Wonderful.
At this point, we could entertain a motion.
So, would someone like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to that effect. $500?
Yes, it's whatever we're allowed. I think it's 500 for one.
I'll second it.
We'll double check.
250.
Oh, sorry, 250. Okay.
And also, in the future, we've had, this quite often at the end of the year, and this has been every year since I've been elected, there's money left in that budget, and when the policy is too tight in order to use it to full effect. And I would like us in the future to have a conversation about loosening the parameters for that, so we can
Or
actually
increase.
give this or
Maybe it's better to increase.
no,
Again, it's a great discussion. Can we put that to a policy and bylaw meeting, please? Is there any further discussion on the motion?
No.
Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next is correspondence. The village of Tiverton, they have sent a letter of opposition to the salmon cages in St. Mary's Bay. The village of Freeport, they have sent opposition to salmon cages in St. Mary's Bay. The Bay of Fundy Discovery Center Association, opposition to salmon cages in St. Mary's Bay. Any comment? Yes,
I would like to
David?
make a comment. Westport has a letter written. It would be sent to us for information purposes, however it is addressed to the province. Just to let you know that the 3 villages are on board.
Okay, thank you. The Bay of Fundy Discovery Center the Digby County Exhibition has sent us a thank you. And the 12-month notice on the Police Act. As you noticed, on the Police Act, they are not giving us the amount.
Well, there's
So-
no negotiation.
Oh,
And I think we could slide to that letter. I think that the change that they're highlighting refers mainly if you have a
For the-
municipal police force.
for the 6 months for the RCMP.
Right, where we've already got RCMP, they're trying to line up the timelines for the two.
Yeah, and I know that the Nova Scotia Police Association of Governance is looking at that as well. Because we do want it the same, but there's going to be a cost. It's just a nice way to give us another cost.
Yep.
You know, I mean, they're already a little uptight. Is there any other? Now, I know that he's hearing probably from the minister right now, so until he comes back, we're going to have the meeting go. So I'm going to ask the audience on anything that has been talked about tonight. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? Gwen, first.
You mentioned earlier that if and when the meeting with Minister Colwell occurs, that we would be hearing it, so is your intention that he would come and speak at a committee of the whole meeting or at a council meeting, or?
It would be in here to a meeting,
And
yes.
open to?
Yes,
open
it's,
to everybody?
our meetings are open.
Right, and, is it my understanding that the letter that council intends to write to St. Mary's Bay Protectors will be composed prior to that meeting with the minister, or after that meeting with the minister?
Jeff?
It would be prior to.
Prior to.
Okay, and is it my understanding that when you meet with the minister, that you intend to, advocate for the citizens?
Yes, that is definitely part of it. We have questions too, though.
Thank you.
All right, I saw the lady.
Me?
Yes,
So you plan to express your opposition to this project to the minister?
the opposition of the people. And we want to hear what the regulations are before we can say, as a council.
Well, that's sort of what, Mr. Manager, what would Sir Mac tell you that would make you want this?
I don't know, I haven't heard them, I haven't listened to them, so I don't know what they have to say.
But just knowing, just like what, like
Okay.
1,000 jobs that would,
All right.
that would take?
I'm sorry, your questions have to be addressed to me.
Oh, okay.
I apologize, but
What would you as a council need to hear from Sir Mac that would make you want to support this project, knowing what you've been told?
at the Cermax meetings, I just want to hear what people are saying to them and hear their responses. And I assume that's the type of thing that all the council does. It's the fisheries meeting that I need to get my questions answered. If I have any questions for Cermax, I will certainly be asking them. The only time I have met with Cermax was at a meeting, and it was a fisheries, to talk about it. And I was just listening at that meeting.
What do you as a council need to learn is going to happen in this area that would possibly make this project worth allowing? What, knowing everything you know, is there really anything that they could tell you?
You just need to hear what their regulations are and what that type of thing is.
And then once you learn that, you're gonna come in and strongly oppose that project?
I can't answer for council.
But surely you know by now what the regulations must be, and that kind of a
New regulations were put in. There's a new process being done.
well, you could read
And
it.
my questions are, has Cermax been doing what it's supposed to be? Because it sounds like it hasn't been. Personally, I don't think they have been doing their due diligence. But when you sit here, you have to make sure that what you are doing is not to just decide on a whim that we don't want people wearing red coats. And you can say, well, Linda, that's not the same thing, but it is. We have to make sure we're informed before we make a decision. That's all. I personally am opposed to anything that's going to be a detriment to anything else.
I mean, that's a lie. That's what we live down on the island of fishing.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's no.
If there's no fishing, there's no. I mean, why would I want to destroy my brothers, my cousins' livelihood?
We shop here. I mean, if you didn't have the islands and the net and stuff, I mean.
If you didn't have all the surrounding area,
Well,
it's
then
all the
why-
surrounding
why
area
aren't
that's
you
needed.
Why aren't you coming out in strong opposition now? It's my bottom line. Why?
Because we have not heard Cermax.
And then my next question is, what would they possibly tell you that?
We don't know. That's what I need to hear.
Just tell them we don't want it.
That will be being said to the minister. I have told that to Cermax myself. There was someone over here. Yes, ma'am?
I'm Lois Oliver, and I'm from Brighton, and I really, I think it's really important that we make informed decisions. But I think we have slipped into an era where we rely on so-called experts. And when they come attached to corporations, red flags do need to be up there. And that leads me into my question regarding the smart meter program. We've jumped right into the experts, the corporation that's going to be doing this. I would like to ask council, because they're wanting to hear both sides of the story in the fish farm business. Why not get an expert out from No Smart Meters Nova Scotia who can fully advise you?
I'm ready.
No Smart Meters Nova Scotia. You can talk to probably Shirley Langpole back here too about some contacts. There are health issues and there are security issues. There are places in the world who have banned these things. So, you know, it's more than just we're worried about some people losing their jobs.
Oh, no, I knew it was more than that. I'm just saying that was another concern brought to me.
Okay, but
Because if I've already been told sometimes I don't bring enough concerns forward. So when they're being brought to me, I feel I need to say them.
So my concern is that if you just rely on what the corporation, Nova Scotia Power, private company has to tell you about the smart meter program, you are going into your decision-making process only partially informed, and I would like some other experts on the other side.
Okay. So council, I did not know about No Smart Meters Nova Scotia. I've been reading some things, but I didn't realize there were people who would come out and speak. So, are you interested in hearing from No Smart Meters Nova Scotia representatives? Would someone like to make that a motion? So moved. Is there a seconder? Any discussion? All in favor? You'll be able to get all the information necessary? And thank you, Lois, because I didn't know that. Mr. Payton?
There seems to be a contradiction between what you say is your purpose for talking to the CERMAC and your reticence to say how you as a group feel.
I can't answer for someone else, just so you know.
You say your intention is to represent us to CERMAC. However, I just talked with Matthew, and Matthew has not made up his mind, he said. And so how can I trust that Matthew is going to represent my position when his position is not clear? George also said he has not made up a decision. So he would be one of you that represents us. This is not reassuring. So it would be very nice if we knew how you stand before we put our position in your hands to represent us.
All right. At that meeting, it will be the warden who will be speaking on our behalf, bringing forward to the minister how the community is concerned. I know I will be adding to it. I'm sure others will. But everyone's just saying they want to make sure they're hearing. That's all. Well,
Could you give us a sense then of the kinds of questions that council has to present to CERMAC so that we have a better understanding of what's going to take place in that dialogue? Like, what kind of questions do you have now? Perhaps some of us here can answer them too.
All right. Some of my questions will be, when I was at the meeting, I heard one thing, but I've heard now it's bigger and wider and more fish. Is there truth to that? Is the salmon and what has happened in BC going to happen? How can I say this so it makes sense? The concerns that happened, in BC, we have very much the same concerns in Nova Scotia. Okay, we do not want a repeat. What are they doing? What are they going to do? You hear what they have to say. I know that they sent from listening to it's not TV, what do you call it that we're doing right now? We're being recorded.
We're being recorded.
Yeah, no, but what's it on? What do they call that? YouTube. They have sent answers to us on those concerns that were brought forward. But I want to talk to them. It's, you know,
Okay, I guess my same question comes back to what kind of an answer would you get for that kind of a question that would then change your position, that would stand in the way of you coming up and saying, listen, we don't want our area killed by this kind of fishery. And then the second question is, do you really and truly believe anything that would come out of their mouths? I mean, they're being kicked off of the West Coast. It's being banned.
Oregon,
So why would
Washington,
we want them
California,
here?
BC.
That's right.
Baja Peninsula right up to Alaska. Except they're wealthy, we're poor. That's the big difference.
okay, Ian?
Yes, Madam Councillor, may we present questions that will be asked to the Cermak people, and will we be informed of their answers?
Well, we'll be going to those same public meetings for Cermak.
You're gonna be there.
Yeah. Any of those questions, any questions you have, you should be, that's, like, I'm going to the one in Sandy Cove. That's the meeting I'm going to. I cannot do the meeting that's coming up Wednesday. I am already unable to attend. I have blocked off. As soon as I saw the one for Sandy Cove, I blocked it off immediately. And the only thing is someone drops dead or some sort of injury, I will be there. Especially if it's me.
The impression I got was from George when he spoke was that he was expecting a private meeting.
It sounded like you're going to have a private
He wanted
meeting.
a private meeting.
We don't have any meetings scheduled for Cermak.
No? No.
We're all gonna be at the same.
We're gonna be at the same meetings as
Cermak is coming into the area and having a public meeting in Digby. They're having one in Sandy Cove and they're having one in Clare. Because Clare is just as much impacted as next year in St. Mary's Bay. So there's gonna be 3 locations, 3 different dates, and I think they're gonna have probably 2 meetings each day. I'm not quite sure on how many meetings they're gonna have, but they're having 2 in Digby for sure. In the afternoon, 1 in the evening. But we have no meeting scheduled with Cermak right at this time.
May I ask, is there a time when we will hear how each one of you voted in regard to these major issues? So that we have a complete list of our elected representatives and how they stood on smart meters, how they stood on road safety, how they stood on salmon cages, etc. Is that information going to be available to us?
And when we do decide on what we're gonna say, we'll be doing it here in public.
And it will be recorded.
And there will be, you will each stand and say, I stand for or against. That'll all be public?
I'm gonna ask for a motion and it'll be yea or nay, and then ones that are nay, you'll know who it is, and the others you'll know the yea.
Okay. And that would be in the report of that meeting?
Yes.
Thank you.
Did you want to take back over, or do you want me to? Okay. It's Cassie, right? Casey, I'm sorry, I did that again. And I didn't want to call you Ms. Kidd, because I know that's not your last name now. Melanson.
Yes.
All I have to do is think of your in-laws, and I'm fine.
I have 2 questions. The first one is, has council ever met with Cermak before?
Yes.
We met
Yeah.
once.
Okay.
I wasn't there personally, I was away.
Okay. The next question I have, I know you've already received a reply from Cermak directly, which specifically was really a rebuttal to the St. Mary's Bay Protectors presentation we did on the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
They really had a lot to rebuttal against, except for everything to do with the commercial fishery, because even they couldn't come up with a good excuse for how they're going to negatively affect that. What do you need to talk to them and hear from them more about when your constituents are clearly against it? Shouldn't you only ever meet with them again to say, we don't want you here?
It will be at the public meetings. We're not going to be, well, as far as I know, we're not meeting with them.
We don't have any meetings scheduled with
No.
Cermak.
But the council, doesn't really have power to talk to a big company that's trying to come in and say, listen, my constituents don't want you here.
Oh, I'll be saying that.
And so it could be done.
It will be at the public meetings.
Could you write a letter to them saying, listen, we've talked with my constituents and they're totally against it, we don't want you here? Is that a possibility?
I'm making a motion to that effect, the second panel. With the 10 demands that you guys had, or requests, I tried to find a second or third for them and I couldn't, so.
That's,
okay.
First of all, we wanted to talk to the province, and that's what we're gonna be doing. And after we talk to the province, then this council will decide on which direction it's going
But
to
the
go.
province promotes this sort of thing.
Yeah, so are you, when you say you're gonna talk to the province, it's good, you're gonna be like, hey, province, Digby doesn't want Cermak here?
We're gonna be passing on your concern.
And huge
Okay.
concern, huge,
Thanks.
yes. Yes, sir, would you like to stand and speak? Richie?
I'm Richard Crocker, I'm a fisherman, and I can stand here and tell you about the jobs and this and that. But when you meet with the Minister of Fisheries and Cermak, ask them to go to Westport and go on the beach, lay back in their suits, their shoes, and lay in the filth from these salmon cages. It's wiped out kelp beds, it's wiped out winkle beds. You put this mass amount in the St. Mary's Bay, it's gonna wipe everything out over 10, 15 years.
I think that's the thing that council's really missing, like being from the islands, I picture everything right there. It's hideous.
And even if you go out by the ferry terminal and you go for a walk on the beach, you're gonna find nothing. Divers have dove underneath them salmon cages. Sheldon, Mary Dixon's wife and son had dove under them. There's actually, stuff on the bottom of that. Deep sludge, sewage, you might as well say, from these salmon cages, rotten feed. It's not getting circulated out like they say it is with the tide. Each site is supposed to be flushed for 2-3 years. Cook's is not doing it. And I mean,
Are you talking of the Digby site, or you're talking down on the islands?
both sites are supposed to be flushed, and they're not. They just keep adding salmon to them. They're not letting them flush out. You let Cermak in here, and you're gonna see it a lot worse than what Cook's has got.
Cermak is not gonna come in here.
No, but if they do, it's gonna be worse than Cook's.
It'll be done, it'll be finished.
You just might as well pack everybody up, ship them somewhere else.
We wanna do the St. Mary's, what they did the
And I
Grand
mean,
Passage.
Two,
Exactly right.
Well, excuse me, can I hear one person speak?
we're also talking about, like, Nova Scotia already have enough job losses. Why put something out here that's gonna create more job losses? So, and to allow a big company from another country to come into Canada and set up, it's a no. It should be a Canadian doing in our waters, not a foreign country that don't care about what they're putting in our waters. But take those concerns to the Minister of Fisheries. I'm gonna try to be here for Wednesday night meeting, but I can't guarantee it because I plan on going fishing. So, but any of you guys, if you're here, bring those concerns forward. Not one of them will say they will go on that beach where these salmon cages are. So, other than that, I'm gonna zip it and sit down.
David?
I have a question, sir. What you said is true.
Yeah.
Do you know of any doctoral professor investigation that has examined that material? I'm not questioning it.
No.
I know it's there. But you need somebody with a PhD to tell you that, to identify what's there, link it to the fish, and then you have an argument. A serious argument that they can't compute.
When we were fighting aquaculture, that was all proven, wasn't it, Mary? Back in-
If it's
there
more
was
than 10
studies.
years old, it does not count.
But in my opinion, scientists can say whatever they want. The best science of all is the fishermen.
Yeah.
We watch it go, we watch it be depleted.
But for
Right.
the system, they recognize certain things. If you can link the waste, the viruses, to the fish and to the dead kelp, you and I both understand what kelp would go before.
And
Then you have something to put forward. Until then, we're just a bunch of whiny little old women. Sorry, guys. But
Excuse
that's
me.
what it is.
No.
No,
Okay.
we need
All right.
data.
But here's
All right.
another concern.
Thank you for your comments, and Shirley, I saw your hand up.
Thank you. And thank you for addressing both the smart meter and this globalization with the mega aquaculture. 3 football field size, each one in St. Mary's Bay. Really, all of us, our community, all of us. I'm asking that we respect local knowledge and not, like what I've heard tonight, I feel like I'm a bit back in colonial times in England. And we are the people that are the ones that live here, that are going to be affected. We are the ones with the values. The UN has acknowledged us, UNESCO has acknowledged us on Digby Neck and the islands as very special globally. As a culture, there's so many issues at stake here. The smart meters, I agree with Lois. We've been working on that. This is not candy. And to ask a monopoly that's going to make money on this, and then you and I as a taxpayer, as we have to remove those things, as they burn the buildings, as they caught, oh yes, the Paradise Fires in California. This is not secret stuff, but they are not going to tell you this. So you need local knowledge or professionals. They are my friends with no smart meters. And they will come, and if you want knowledge, the woman will fill up this with the book she studied. That is not what we get for no such power. So,
But thanks to Lois, we are going to now have them here.
well, Lois, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you will.
Because I didn't realize it was, I just didn't realize when I was reading the materials that it was representatives that would come and talk. I apologize.
But in the meantime, if you are worried about your health and safety, call Nova Scotia Power. That you can tell them you don't want them and they won't put them in.
Okay, let one response, Mr. Shirley.
I have already offered to give them a talk on smart meters, the impact globally, the facts about health, and 5G, which is also coming. So, and we are in Nova Scotia is having this happen. And our privacy, and we are going to be sold our lives as a commodity. That isn't pretend. It's happened in Ontario, and the wind and the sun can make your meter go like this. So they took them out of a lot of rural Ontario. They work in cities, but they don't work in the rural. And we've got to know this. I'm concerned for everybody here, you and us. So please, listen to the local knowledge. It's here everywhere. I need it all the time, including your knowledge. But it's got to be respected. Thank you.
Lois?
One of the things about the smart meters that perhaps as part of your due diligence you might want to consider is that in some jurisdictions, insurance companies are now advising their clients that should a fire occur on their premises that is related to a smart meter, they will not insure them. And I think if the municipality, they have holdings, you also have to know that if you're going to be entertaining this thought, you have all of these constituents. You know, that is something that needs to be looked into. Are your insurers going to pay if any of your holdings have a fire related to a smart meter? And I'd get that in writing.
Thank you. Huh?
There is a very fundamental issue here. You mentioned, David, a line between the local wisdom and experience and the academic power that the corporations use against local wisdom. There is a woman named Jane Jacobs who was deemed a urban philosopher, and she stated she's the one that kept the great corporations from taking over New York City and bulldozing and putting in highways everywhere. She said that the final, most important proof of any issue is anecdotal evidence. To support that, she said, how many PhDs over 2,000 years developed an ear of corn? No, these were the Mayan farmers. Through anecdotal evidence, anecdotal experience, they're the ones who did the equivalent of going under the cages and saw the impact of this. It was the Mayan anecdotal evidence that not only proved that corn could develop, but developed it and gave it to the world. We, I think, as a group, believe in the wisdom and the anecdotal truth and experience and power and authority of local people. I'm not sure you do. I think that if we had a PhD come to you and say, I have written articles on salmon cages, and then beside him, a fisherman who could say, my cousin has dived underneath the cages, he would like very much to come and talk to you. I have a feeling the PhD would get through the door quicker, and you must think very, very, very carefully about that.
Okay. Oh, Melissa?
I was just wondering if Jimmy could tell us about the phone call, if it was the minister.
I was going to pass it over. Jimmy?
Well, I was going to comment on it after it was the minister, yes, and he is going to set up a meeting with the council to meet with him. It's looking like we're probably going to have to go to Halifax to do that if we want to get in front of him sooner rather than later. And where this is timely, we're going to try to see if we can't get in front of him right away. So, yeah, we'll go to Halifax and we'll meet with him.
I apologize because we assumed it would be here.
But he's very interested in sitting down and talking to us about it, and we're going to be able to bring forward all the questions and concerns that people have. And I'm going to try to provide him most of that information prior to us going so they can actually answer us in an informed way.
Will we hear from that? Meeting if we can make our way
No, you can't.
Could you report to us?
Well, yes, after we have the meeting with the minister, we can discuss it back to the community and let you know what come out of it. But the minister was adamant that it was going to just be council.
But it's often a delay with this council.
There's
so much delay, and you should know.
Nora, I've asked the minister, he asked if to come here or there. I said, wherever it's the fastest. So I'm trying to get in front of the minister as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Okay, and I said, if we have to go to Halifax to do that, so be it. We'll be there.
You relay it to us.
This will be the second time I've seen the minister. The first time was Sterling Bellevaux, and he went on and on about all the hundreds of jobs that Cook was going to bring.
Oh.
And he had a big, long list of all the things that were going to happen, and everything he said didn't happen. All of it was lies. Every last word. And then and we were talked to down like we were a bunch of idiots. And he was the one who ended up being a fool. And then I saw another minister, not this one, the one before, on television, discussing how it was genuine anger at these people who were mad about these salmon cages and how they were lying about cooks. The guy had videotape exactly what he was saying, and the minister was on, they were making an ass of himself. I expect the same thing again. Guaranteed. Seen enough ministers.
Somebody just asked if any of us could attend, but if you're happen to be talking to the St. Mary's, or not St. Mary's, but the Minister of Fisheries, could one person from, we'll say, St. Mary's Bay Protectors and maybe one fisherman to speak for people just go, not a big group, but just one fisherman, maybe somebody from the St. Mary's Bay?
He was adamant to me that it would just be council, but in saying that, you can reach out to your MLA, Gordon Wilson, and ask if he'll set that meeting up. You have another meeting with him.
All right.
He could see if he could do that.
Will you be sharing the list of concerns that you're sharing with the minister?
Yeah. Well, once we compile it, we can share it, but, you know, hopeful that whatever concerns that have come forward already from everybody in the community, that will be what we want to take forward, and if there's any additional ones, we'll add that to the list. Okay. So, David, you can breathe.
I'm good.
Okay, is there, that was on the agenda.
That was we've gone through the agenda and was asking questions on what had taken place for them.
So you said there's no in camera?
There's no in camera.
Okay, so we can have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
I'll let you have time to criticize minutes.